What is up, you guys? Today we're gonna go over my Robinhood portfolio once again because it's Friday, and Friday we're doing a Robinhood overview. Looks like we had a pretty good week. Everything is pretty steady. I didn't go up much and didn't go down much. It looks like on February 10th, which was a couple days ago, I was up $100 more than I am today, and over the couple days I lost $100. That's my profit because 5,000 of my own money and 900 is what I made from all those stocks going up in price from the time that I purchased them. And then it was a little bit of a roller coaster as usual, but however today I'm at $58.19, so $819. I lost $100, but overall it's still performing pretty good. I'm still in the green. Let's check out why that happened. So Tesla, it looks like, went down for the first time. Today it was under $800. It hasn't been under 800 for a while. End of January it was at 790, and then it's been pretty steady at 800. Today it went down to 795. In the last week it looks like the highest has been 872. Today is 800. So that's one of those things that contributed to my number going down. Nikola is that one thing that I keep regretting. At least it's not down to $10 or less. It's pretty steady around the 20 plus, give or take. It was a little bit higher at some point within the last month. It was as high as $29, which is pretty good. It actually made my losses much smaller. Instead of negative $215, it was like negative $60 or $70. So I was pretty happy at that point. I still own 18 shares that I bought at pretty expensive. So here's why I'm losing so much. Let me show you exactly how people lose money on this thing. If you look at my purchase history, you see that I bought my first 2 shares back in June 23rd of 2020 at $69. That's how high it was. There's just no way of knowing ever what the stock market is gonna do, and this is a perfect example of that. I thought it was a good stock to buy, and I thought it was a good price because before the 69 it was actually as high as $80, but I didn't think of it that way because I was extremely new at this, and I thought, well, it's just a good time to buy. Instead of waiting, okay, well, if it went down from 80 to 69, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe I need to wait a little bit longer. And sure enough, it went down to 67, 62, 55, 53. And so I kept buying because I was like, okay, well, it's going down. It's supposed to be a good stock, and it keeps going down. So what if I just keep buying them? And I kept buying half a share here, half a share there, 2 shares here. Then it went to 18, and this is what actually was really good for me. This is what dropped my average price to $34, which now, instead of having to wait until it goes back up to 69 to get my money back, all I need is to wait until it gets up to 34, and that's half the price of the 69. And that's why I'm losing so much in that right now, because I spent about 700 back then on Nikola, and now the share is just not worth as much as what I paid for it. It's my biggest loser within my whole portfolio. Airlines are still one of the best ones to invest into, in my opinion, because they will go up, and they're still a pretty good price. Because I'm looking at the overall, let's say, last year performance. I can see that a year ago today it was $30. Today is half that price. In the last 5 years, it's even been as high as $58. So you can see that it has a potential to go up. And airlines, such big airlines like American Airlines and Delta and all that, there's a really low chance of them going down or going bankrupt because they're huge and airlines make a ton of money. So we just need to wait out the pandemic so that people can start traveling once again. Let's look at Aurora Cannabis. This one, I've been actually losing money for a long time. As you can see here, in the last month, it's been all like $10, $11, basically below 12 bucks. And my average cost was $11 when I bought 10 shares. So I've spent $112 total. And today it went up to $13, and actually it was as high as $18. So almost double from what I purchased it. So if I was a day trader, I would definitely sell my 10 shares over here, and I'd make a little bit of money. And then I would be able to buy more today, for example, or maybe in a couple of days where it's gonna go even lower than that, because it always has the potential to go up and down like that. Let's look at my BIIB. This was my little strategy to make a quick buck, make a quick $100 actually, when I bought the share at 248, hoping that it's gonna go up to 300 like it did at some point. Here you see it went up to 355, and I thought, okay, well, maybe there's a chance that it's gonna go back up there again, because you know, it was at 340 before at some point within the last year, right? So I'm looking at a year performance. If I'm looking at this pattern, there is still a potential of it going up. I only bought 2 just to test it out, and so far I'm finally making money. But you can see that I bought at 248 right after it dropped significantly. So on this stock, from buying those 2 shares, I made $56. as of today. And of course it's moving up and down all the time. Another interesting stock that I purchased one share of just for the ease of watching it, because I find when I buy a stock, it's easier for me to see what it's doing, and it does the calculations for me. So for example, if I bought this one at 9.65, at this point my return is 47 cents. But yesterday I was making a couple dollars on that. So here's a strategy. If I was to buy $1,000 worth of this share and then sold it a couple days later, I would have made a lot of money. So let's see, in a week here, it went up to 18 bucks. Imagine if I bought this on February 8th at $10.36. I would have bought 100 shares. I would have spent $1,036 if I was to buy 100 shares at this price. And then I waited until roughly 17, 18. Let's say I wouldn't be that lucky to catch it at 18, but I would be like, you know what, 17 I'm selling. So now you take those 100 shares and you sell them at 1704, right? 1708, 1700. So that's $700 that I would have made in this same day. So February 8th at 6:30 a.m. it was at $10, and then at 9:30 a.m. it was at $17. When you're talking about such a significant amount of shares, like 100 and more, every dollar counts. So let's, for the sake of this example, say that I would have caught it at $18. Well, now I made $1,800, not $1,700. Right? So every dollar contributes to an extra $100 in profits. Then of course it dropped. So the people that decided to sell it over here would have made a lot of money. And this stock here is definitely one of those that you can play with for day trading. I think it's one of the best stocks for day trading right now, because literally within one day it goes up and down by a few dollars. Yesterday it went from $9, jumped to $13. Quick $400 in just one day. The only problem is, of course, those prices, they fluctuate before the market even opens. So 6 a.m. I can't buy anything really, but some traders do. So it looks like it's always on the lower end before the stock market opens, and then it starts going up as it opens, and then it slowly goes down. So it's safe to assume that better to buy that stock towards the end of the day. So this is how you guys do that. This is how you can potentially make a ton of money, but also lose a ton of money, because everything I'm showing you can also happen in reverse, right? I'm showing you the best case scenario where if you bought at 8 or 9 and sold at 17 or 13, you're making money. But also, what if you, for example, I bought at 9.65, okay, so for me, if it goes up to 17, I'm making some money. But if it drops to 5, like it's been for the longest time, so this is like a penny stock. Up until the first week of February, this stock actually cost $2 to $3, even $1. So if you bought a bunch here, can you imagine how much money you would have made? Even the same 100 shares. Now you're buying every share at 181, so I'm doing 100 times 181, and I'm only spending $181. But then those same shares are to be sold at 17, so those same 100 shares, I'm still making $700. Well, now that is actually $1,500 profit over a period of a week, because we're talking about from February 1st to February 8th. That's like exactly 7 days, and that is crazy. So you can get extremely lucky with this thing, but also everything could have happened in reverse. You could have bought at 17 thinking, oh, this is going to continue going up, and then suddenly it goes down to $10. So if I bought at 17 and I bought 100 shares, I would have spent $1,769, and now here at $10 it's only worth $1,000 now. So I lost $700 if I was to do that. So always be careful, do your research, don't rush into buying stocks. And this is exactly what happened to me with Nikola. I bought it when it was higher. I'm just holding on to it because I don't think it's going to go bankrupt and I don't want to lose that money. So essentially, if I sell it today, this $200 is gone forever. But if I hold on to it and the company eventually goes up in price, then I will be able to pull that money back. So by selling too quick from as a result of panicking and just freaking out that the stock is going down, you are taking away the chance to get that money back. Don't panic, don't use emotion, use your logic. So I'm going to continue holding on to the stock, which is what I recommend doing. Unless you ever heard somewhere a rumor that the company is going bankrupt, that's when you're going to see everybody trying to sell. It's going to be ridiculous, and the price can go down significantly. To be honest with you, if it goes down to 13 or below, I would probably buy a couple more stocks, which would essentially drop my average cost lower. And then if it goes back to 20, I can sell, and that way get my money back faster that way. Right now it's pretty steady around the 20s, so just waiting, trying to be patient, and keeping an eye on the news to make sure that nobody does something weird that will cause this thing to go bankrupt. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Get your free stock of Robinhood by signing up using the link that I'm sharing with you in my description below. I also share a link with you in the description below to get your 2 free stocks on Webull for up to $18.50. All you have to do is deposit $100 and you will be able to get those stocks, whichever one you're gonna get. It's not necessarily gonna be $18.50, it might also be an $8 stock, it can be a $200 stock, anywhere within that range, but it's still free money. All you have to do is deposit that $100, use the link below. Also like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.